going on, guys? I'm the Walrus Jedi, and in this video I will be talking about Star Wars Scoundrels by Timothy Zahn, which, this book was released by Del Rey on January 1st, 2013, and this book takes place in 0 ABY, so it's the same year as A New Hope, but it's after. And then there is also a novella, Win or Lose All, also by Timothy Zahn, and it takes place before Scoundrels, so it's 0 ABY as well. So if you like this video, then please consider liking and subscribing for more Star Wars book reviews and just other Star Wars videos in the future. And there will be some spoilers for this book, so if you haven't read it, this is your spoiler warning. The Dramatis Personae, or the characters. Han Solo, he's Han Solo. You know who Han Solo is. Same with Chewbacca, his best friend and co-pilot of the Falcon. Lando Calrissian, he's got wears fancy clothes, a cape, he's got a mustache, Bink Kitik, she's a human ghost thief. Tavia Kitik, her twin sister, she is a human ghost thief assistant, and she's an electronics expert. Dozer Creed, he is a human ship thief. Zerba Cherdak, he is a Balasar, pickpocket and sleight of hand expert. Winter, she is a human living recording rod, or to put it in a simpler way, she has a really good memory. She's really good at the details and stuff like that. Raquel Ree, she is a human acquisitions person, gathers intel and stuff like that. Kel Tainer, he is a human explosives and droid expert. Anger Kunarzati, he is a human robbery victim, and he is supplying the funding for the mission, the heist, I guess. Avrak Villacor, he is a human Black Sun sector chief. Kasadi, he is a Faline Black Sun Vigo. And then Deja, he is a human Imperial intelligence agent. On to the story. So this story begins with Han. He's on the planet Wukar, and he's just sitting in the cantina or whatever, and this guy Anger Kunarzati comes up to him and basically asks him for his help because he's Black Sun took him and beat the crap out of him and took his money, and long story short, he wants Han Solo to help him get his money back. And Han says, well, that's not really my thing. And then Anger keeps pushing him, so Han's like, okay, I gotta call some people and assemble a team. And so Han Solo does this. He calls, Raquel she helps kind of set things up, and she contacts all the other members. So, she calls Bink and Tavia and Zerba. They all kind of, and then some people that Han wants are unavailable, so they recommend other people, or they send people, and two of these are Winter and Kel. Han goes to find Dozer, who he wants as the front man for the job. And then that's everybody. And they meet in a hotel room near their target. Villacor's, because Villacor is he's got a safe in his mansion on Wukar that will have the money. That's where it is. They get it to a hotel that isn't far away from there, and they start meeting everyone, and then Lando arrives, and there's a mix-up. Han Solo didn't want him to come because, there was some history with Lando, and if you've read the Han Solo trilogy by A.C. Crispin, it's referencing that. So there's a mix-up. Lando came because he thought so. Yeah, but anyways, so Lando comes, and he's a better fit for the front man. So that's what he does. So they all assemble in the hotel room and meet everybody and introductions and all that, and then they start planning the actual heist. Basically, they decide to do it during the upcoming local festival on Wukar, where they celebrate they call it the honorings of stone, water, flame, and air. And Villacor likes to host this big festival on his mansion grounds, and it's a perfect cover to try and steal the credits. So they do this, and at each, because they have an honoring of an element each day. So the first one is stone. So they go in there, they're sussing out everything and learning like guards, positioning, their routes and stuff. And they're slowly breaking into things and learning the layout of the mansion, finding where the vault is, and all that. And yeah, so it takes a while. They split into groups and do different things. Bink is in charge of breaking into the actual vault, and Lando, he meets with Villacor, and disguised as basically a criminal organization. They kind of play around with that a little bit, and they're slowly learning all this stuff. And then towards the end, a lot of things happen. They have some of their members get kidnapped. Lando gets kidnapped by some cops, but they're really Black Sun operatives. They have to rescue Lando, and then Han, later on, he gets captured, and then they're like, oh, well, we have to rescue him. And then Bink and Tavia, they get captured by Kasadi, and all this stuff happens. And on I guess you could say the day that they actually do the heist, they break in there, get the vault, get it out, take the credits, and there is there are some blackmail files as well that, basically it's dirt on a bunch of people throughout the galaxy that Black Sun uses to, get whatever they want. And Deja and Anger, they make a deal that Deja will get the blackmail files. They try that, and, all that. And then Lando, he wants his share of the haul to be the blackmail files because he figures those will be really useful someday. And they get they succeed. They, Anger saves Tavia and Bink because they got captured by Kasadi, and he shoots Kasadi, and everybody escapes. They go to the rendezvous. We find out that Anger is he's a scumbag, and he's gonna shoot Han when he gets to the Falcon, but luckily Han Solo caught wind of something fishy about Anger, and so he put a decoy Millennium Falcon in that, and that's where Anger is waiting. So everybody they unfortunately they discover that Anger is he died like 6 weeks ago. And so the person they've been interacting with is not Anger. He's someone else. and without Anger, the credit chips are useless. So basically, they're able to get some money because they find some slicers, but it's only like 815,000 instead of about 163 million credits. So there's a little bit of a difference. And yeah, when all's said and done, yeah, Lando doesn't get the uh, the blackmail files. Han Solo actually ends up with them, and he takes them as his share. He gives up his, or actually most of his and Chewie's credit share, and they still get some credits, but they also get the blackmail files because he's figuring, oh, I could take these to the rebellion and maybe help them, and maybe they'll give me a reward for it. And yeah, so, and then at the end of the book, we find out that fake Anger is actually it's Boba Fett, which was interesting. Because Han Solo has a bounty on his head, so does Lando, and Kasadi did as well, and hence why Boba Fett was doing this. So that was interesting. And they couldn't tell it was Boba Fett because he had like a big bandage on his face and all wrapped up, so you couldn't tell who he was. Plus, Boba Fett does not take his helmet off every 5 seconds, so you don't even know what Boba Fett looks like under all that. So he's able to hide in plain sight that way. So yeah. And then the novella, Win or Lose All, we follow Lando as he's going to a big sabacc game held in the high card casino by a man called Jidor. And the big, awesome, cool prize, if you win the whole tournament, is you get a T'Cheen statue. And this is a very rare, really valuable statue. It's worth a lot. So obviously you win that, you get lots of money basically if you sell it. And there you also have Tavia, Bink, and Zerba. They're not there to steal that T'Cheen statue. They're actually there to steal other valuables in this in Jidor's vault. However, they kind of discover that the T'Cheen statue, Jidor has 2 T'Cheen statues, one in his vault and then one that he's displaying for there. And the thing with T'Cheen statues, they're like registered. So, and Jidor doesn't say he has 2, it says he has 1. And they come to find out that he basically murdered the owner of the other one, a Deveronian rich lady, and took it. So he has 2, and they basically stop that. They kind of get him into trouble, and they Lando unfortunately has to kind of lose the game because you don't really know which T'Cheen is the stolen one, and if you get a stolen one, that's bad. So they act like good guys, and yeah, basically end up like that. Yeah. So yeah, pretty a nice little novella, pretty cool. So you get it introduces you. I read that before the Scoundrels, so it introduces you to a couple of the members of the team, which I liked. So yeah. And now on to what I liked about this book and the novella too. Quite frankly, this is a Timothy Zahn book. This is fantastic. This isn't my first Timothy Zahn book I've read. This is my first expanded universe Zahn book, but I have read his, canon Thrawn stuff, the Disney canon, and I liked that. But yeah, so that Timothy Zahn is a cool author. I like the characters. You have the obvious Han Solo, Chewbacca, Lando. I like all 3 of them, but Bink and Tavia are likable. Zerba is an entertaining character. The other ones, yeah. Uh, I like the characters in this. I care about the characters, even though they're technically, they're scoundrels, they're thieves, and kind of, yeah. But they're likable thieves. So I don't know. I the heist I thought was entertaining, and this book obviously has some inspirations from like Ocean's 11, which is a fun movie if you haven't seen it. Um, but yeah, it's a good book, really entertaining. Um, kind of on the edge of your seat a little bit because you're like, oh, are they going to end up with the money? Well, Han Solo, at the very least, probably won't end up with a lot of money because, as we know, he still has the price on his head, Return of the Jedi, or, Empire and stuff like that. So hence why he gets, frozen in carbonite and Boba Fett takes him. So he obviously cannot pay Jabba off. So, and one thing that I find interesting is in this book, and maybe it's another expanded universe material, but this is where I found out that apparently Han Solo, the money he got from saving Princess Leia and all that, that money that got stolen by pirates, which I find kind of funny. So that was a little entertaining, and yeah, the novella is great too. I would say read that as well. Especially if you're a fan of Lando. That one focuses more on Lando, whereas Scoundrels is a little. Actually, we kind of focus on a lot of the group, so that's pretty cool. And that's about it. I mean, pretty cool. Oh, it was kind of cool that Boba Fett was actually in there the whole time. He was just disguised. It's like, man, Boba Fett is awesome. On to what I didn't like. To be honest with you, really wasn't anything that I didn't like. Nothing that comes to mind. Yeah. I guess if I have to say something, I wouldn't have minded more. Another maybe a short story, maybe this exists, but I wouldn't mind more with these characters doing something. It doesn't have to necessarily be a heist, but I like these characters. They're likable, so I wouldn't be opposed to more. So that's my con, if that's really a con. Anyways, yeah. So overall, this book was fantastic. Will probably be, it'll rank pretty high, and when I do like my top 20 EU novels that I've read thus far, it's probably ranking pretty high. But anyways, yeah, I'd give this a 9 out of 10, easy. Really good. I'd recommend reading it. Well, what did you think of Scoundrels? Do you like the characters? And did you think it was a cool heist? And that you can tell me in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, thanks for watching.